Hey folks, Bridges here. Wanted to make a little helpful video for my IED class. What I've asked you to do today is to 3D model some of the objects from this worksheet. So there's, this is called page 23. This is called the bracket. I think in class we did the locating guide yesterday, and then we've also got the support bracket down here. And the engine crankshaft web. I'm just going to go ahead and model the first one for you today. We're going to use some newer features, sketch features on Fusion, such as the arc and the circle, or hole, depending on how you want to do it. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and come over here to my Fusion, and I'm going to create a new design. If you haven't already done so, we're going to start off by sketching, and what we should realize is this part here is actually like three bodies combined, joined together. So it's kind of like the floor or the stage. If we were to look down from the top, it almost resembles like a triangle shape. Okay. Then there's the second part, which is like the shape of like a hump with a hole through the middle of it. And if you look at it from the front there, and then there's a third object, a third body on your right, and it's like a wall to the right. So we're going to think of it like that. And we're going to model it like that. And we're going to start by modeling this, the floor shape. Okay, I think maybe that's the best way to do it. So, looking at your sketch, hopefully you've got that done. You've got the dimensions, and we realize that the width of the floor is 115 millimeters, and then the depth of the floor, you can see it's the same depth as this wall on the right, and the wall, it has a depth of 60. So coming over here to Fusion, I did go ahead and change my document settings right here first. No, I did not, but I'm going to right now. From inches to millimeters, because that's what it says our units are. Honestly, if you don't do this, I'm not going to sweat it. But we're in millimeters now. And we're going to start by sketching. I'm going to sketch, since this is like the top, I'm going to sketch right here on this top-bottom plane. Okay? And from the origin, I'm going to call this back corner back here my origin. Okay? This back corner back here. So I'm going to do this back line, the back edge of this bottom floor area first. And to do that, I'm going to draw a straight line that is the entire width. And I can specify as I go here and type in 115, or I can just click like a randomly length line. And I can go in and use the sketch dimension tool afterward to specify the length. And to do that, I'm going to click on it, move away from it, click again, and then go ahead and type in my 115. Okay? So once I've got that, that's there. Now, one thing I didn't tell you in class is you can actually, if these dimensions are kind of confusing to you with the extension lines and the dimension lines, you can actually come over here in your sketch palette and you can turn that off. You can turn those dimensions off for while we're sketching. Okay, don't forget that you've done that because we're going to want them back later. But I'm going to keep them off for now for our sanity. I'm going to go ahead and sketch now, coming down from the top toward the front, a distance of 20. So I'm going to come down right here, a distance of 20, and I am going to go ahead and type it in as I go and press enter. And for this side over here, I'm going to come from this back corner, which is hidden, and I'm going to come down a distance to where my mouse is now, a distance of 60. So on the other side, we're going to come down a distance of 60, just like this. 60. Oops, I accidentally typed a plus. 60. Great. Now all we need to do is draw the diagonal to connect them, but look, we can't forget that there is a little bit of a width right there for the wall. So we don't want to connect, we don't want to make it horizontal just yet. We want to draw that little straight portion on the front. And it has a width of, you can see, 12. So let's go over here and make our 12, at which point we can go ahead now and connect using the line. I chose one of the harder objects to model. Okay, the one to the right of this, the locating guide, is definitely easier to make, but I want to leave that for you guys to make on your own, because it's easier. So now at this point we've done the floor, and actually we've done the portion underneath the underneath the wall over here because we didn't know where this hypotenuse stopped right there. So we went ahead and did the floor underneath the wall as well. That'll make sense later. We're done with the floor, so we're going to say finish sketch. And now I like to view it from the isometric home view before we go ahead and extrude up. And as a matter of fact, this particular drawing is looking at it from the front top left side, so I can actually click on my view cube. Front top left corner is over here. Okay, the front top left corner is right there, so that might be a better viewing angle. Another new trick that I've not shown you yet, I can actually right click on the view cube in this orientation and I can go to reset home, and now my home view is here. Nope, I lied to you. That's not how you do it. You right click and you go to set current view as home. Set current view as home, fit to view. And now when we click home, it takes us to this view, which is neat. All right, so sorry for the delay. I'm going to go ahead and extrude this floor up a thickness of, and it says 12 here. So I'll come over here and say a thickness of 12. And there is the first body done and complete. Now let's join onto that, shall we? Let's go ahead and build our wall over here. So I'm going to sketch. Now we've got a couple of ways to do it. We could sketch on top and extrude up, or we could sketch on the front and extrude back. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and sketch on the top. And I don't like that it spins our orientation around. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my view cube twisting my rotate options up here to get it to where I want. And I'm going to draw this top rectangle on top of the floor where we've already got it. So it's simply just a rectangle. It goes over to there, which it should be 12 wide, and then we're just going to track up and we're going to get it to snap. And it should snap right there, and yes, it does say that that is 12 wide and it is 60 tall. So that was pretty simple by using the object snap. When I click finish sketch, I'm going to go to the home view again, and I'm going to go ahead now and extrude up. Now be careful when you do this extrusion. Okay, it says there's a total distance of 60 over here, but realize, folks, we've already extruded up 12 of that. So here's a neat little trick that I've not shown you yet also. When you extrude up, you can actually, we know it's going to be a distance of 60 minus 12. Well, guys, you don't even have to type that. You don't even have to figure out what that is using a pencil and paper or calculator or mental math. The computer will do that for you. So the distance here, all we need to type in is 60 minus 12. And it tells me that distance is 48. And we say, yes, we accept that. So that's cool. We're almost done here, 2/3 of the way done. The last thing we're going to do is we are going to sketch on this back plane, and we're going to bring it forward to us. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to sketch, let's see, how are we going to do this? We're going to create a sketch, and we're going to sketch on this back plane. And you can see this back plane actually lines up with the back of the part. Do you see? Do you see that yellow is on there? That's great, but I want to sketch it from this side. So I'm going to just go ahead and click on that yellow plane. And it does put us where we want with the wall on our right. So that's good. Everything that we're seeing now is kind of coming out towards us. Okay? And at this point, we're going to go ahead and sketch a rectangle. You know what? I don't want to confuse you with the rectangle. Let's do vertical lines. And we're sketching from this point right here up. Then you see we go up a distance of 23 millimeters straight before that curve, that arc starts. I'm going to go back. I do like the rectangle better. I don't know why. I'm going to choose this point right here. No, it's not projecting that point for us. Okay? We can actually choose that point right there. No, it's not snapping to it. All right, well, I was afraid that might happen. What we're going to do is, before we start sketching our rectangle, I know this is going to confuse some of you. I'm going to try my best to explain it. Okay? This body that we have was its own thing. We sketched it. We sketched the shape, and then we extruded it. And the shape that we sketched was actually down here on the bottom plane, if you remember. So what I want to do now is I want to project the edges of this shape onto my new drawing plane, which is back here on the back. So to do that, before we sketch anything, let's go to Create, and let's go to Project Include. And we're going to select Project. And all we want to do here is we want to project just the general shape of this first. You can actually even click and drag, I believe, to select everything. And we want to project everything that we've already made onto our new sketch. Okay, that might not make sense. There's probably a better way to describe it, but now it gives us drawing points to snap onto. So now I can do my 2-point rectangle, and I can start here, and it knows it wants to connect to there. And that's great. So I'm going to start my 2-point rectangle. I'm going to do a width of 23. So since that's in blue right now, I'm just going to type in 23. I'm going to press the Tab key, and I know, oh, I typed the wrong one. The width of that actually is, look over here, it's 50. So over here, I'm going to correct myself and type in a width of 50, and then Tab and a height of 23. I almost made a mistake there, didn't I? So while that doesn't quite look right from this angle, when we come back to the home view, it will look right, and that does look pretty good. So we're still in sketch mode. We're viewing it from the front. All we need to do now is add that arcing top on here. And the way that we're going to add the arc is by going to Create, Arc, and we can either use a 3-point arc, which needs us to know the starting and the end point, or a tangent arc, which comes straight off of these lines right here. It's probably easier to explain and understand a 3-point arc, so we're going to use that one. And it asks me, when I hover my mouse still, place a start point. So we're going to start our arc right here. Uh-oh, I'm lagging. Sometimes if you zoom in and out, it'll catch up with you. For some reason, it doesn't like over on the side of my screen, so I'm going to try that again. I'm going to start my arc there, and then it says place the end point. So the end of the arc is going to be here, and it does say that's 50 millimeters, which is what I want. And now it says place a point on the arc. Well, we want it to be tangent, which means we want it to flow from this side straight up. So we're just going to kind of get it going in that direction until you see those little tangent symbols, those little blue circle and lines show up. And it's pretty easy to get that to snap. At this point, folks, we're all set. All we need to do is to create the circle in the middle. So we're going to choose the circle, and we're going to place it concentric, which means sharing a center point with the arc. And it has a diameter. If we look over here, our diameter is 25. So our diameter we can specify right now is 25. Press enter, and there we have it. Now, you can certainly delete out this horizontal line if you want to. If it bothers you, it's gone. But it really, you don't have to delete it out, because we're going to extrude here in a second. All it's doing is splitting the shape into 2 different parts. So we could just choose to extrude both parts instead of just one. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and say Finish Sketch and Extrude. And we're going to extrude this part and this part. We have to choose them. And I want it to go this way. And I want to stop right wherever that corner is right there. And it does not snap to that. Okay? It does not snap down there. So to make it go, we actually want to specify the thickness, which is 20. So notice, since we're coming towards us in the Z direction, I guess that's the Y dimension. Since we're coming towards us, we want to, it's a negative number, so we're going to actually type in here negative 20. Okay, and that is all. And it is a join. It is a join. That's great. And there is your first part. So from the home view, that's what it looks like. Now, what I want you to do to make it your own is to quickly do a new sketch on the top or on the front or wherever, and just make your initials and do a quick extrude of your name or your initials or something to make it your own. Okay? All right, that actually wasn't too bad. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. Once you've got this one done, go ahead and do another one on your own. I recommend the one to the right of this one on the worksheet, which is the locating guide. It's pretty simple. If you could do the one we did together, you can certainly do this one. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.